at some handwriting today. For those of you at home who don't have this packet, you can either use some paper like this if you have some, or you can even use paper like this. So I'll show you kind of how to do that. We have these 3 lines. Now I'm going to call this a little bit different names just to help us talk about it. So I'm going to picture this like I'm looking at a picture. Down here, this bottom line, I'm going to call the ground. Okay, if you're looking outside, you see the ground. Then if you're looking far away, you might see something a little higher than the ground. You might see some mountains. Do you see these mountains? Yeah. They touch that dotted line, right? So I'm going to call the bottom line the ground, the dotted line the mountains, and way up above the mountains you see the sky. So up here, here's my clouds, there's my sky, okay? Now, sometimes our letters go below that line, like a G or a Q. So down here is underground. Can we ever go underground? No. We could dig a hole, and that's down underground, right? Or there's worms that live down underground. Okay, so I have the ground, the mountain, the sky, and underground. So when I talk about things, I might say it like that just so you know which line I'm talking about, okay? If you just have a paper like this, I can have this top line here be the sky, the mountains, the ground, and underground. So if I was doing something like a G, it would go underground there. So if you just have lined paper, you can just use the 3 lines, and then I would skip the underground part, and you can do 3 more. Today we're going to start with the letter A. When we start with a capital A, we want to start at the sky and go down to the ground. Go back up to the sky and go down to the ground, and then we cross. This one's between the mountains and the ground. Sometimes when I do an A, I cross about the same level as the mountains. So if you want to cross it at the mountains, that's fine, or if you want to cross a little bit below. Go ahead and you're going to try that. I want you just to trace these 2 and then write 3 more. So trace 2 and 3 more. How many capital A's are we going to do? 3. Trace 2, 3 more, that's 5 A's. Please do not sit in a race if you started ahead of time. Don't waste your race or your time, okay? All right, let's look at the lowercase a. This is one thing that I notice a lot of kids don't do the right direction. So I'm going to show you on my paper really quickly. Do you guys know how to write a letter C? Yeah, I can write a letter C. I start just below the mountains, go up and touch the mountains and touch the ground. I can write a C. Well, guess what? When you write an A, you write it like you're starting a C. I would write it and I would start just below the mountains, go up and touch the mountains, down to the ground, and then I go up to the mountains again and down to the ground. So when you write a little A, you're going to go to the mountains, ground. Watch me again. It's like writing a C, then up to the mountains and down to the ground for the line. One more time. Like writing a C, then up and back down for the line. Go ahead and trace these 2 and write it 3 more times. What?
It's just when I'm writing, it's not going that well because I like writing and I like drawing.
Oh, I love that. Okay, even if you're not quite done, I'm going to show you B, and then I'll let you finish these other lines. I'm going to skip these 2 lines, but we can come back to them. On this line, you're going to trace this and then write the AA 3 more times, same pair. Okay, let's look at a capital B. Are you guys ready? Here's the awesome thing. A capital B and a lowercase b start the same. We start at the sky. So we're going to start at the sky and go down to the ground. I go back up and do my bump, bump. Start at the sky and go down to the ground. I can go back up and bump to the mountain, bump to the ground. Go ahead and try the capital B. let's take a look at lowercase b. Where did I start for capital B? Where did I start, one? Clear up at the top of the sky. I'm going to do the same for my lowercase b. I'm going to start at the sky, go down to the ground, and then I just do one bump up to the mountain. Start at the sky, down to the ground, and one bump up to the mountain and back down. So that's one way you can remember it. And you know, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between B and D. So have you guys ever seen a baseball bat and a baseball? I like to say bat, ball, bat, ball. You do the bat first and then the ball. I can show you what a baseball and a baseball bat looks like in a minute, okay? So today we're just practicing capital and lowercase a and capital and lowercase b.